Shall we begin?
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the More Than Just Keto podcast. I am one of your hosts, Ashley.
Hey, everybody. I'm your other host, Molly. We discussed 2 episodes ago about life happening even when you're keto, right? Y'all must remember that. And we didn't really dig deep into vacation, but we touched on it briefly. Today, on this episode, we are going to dive deeper into keto on vacation. We're going to talk about 3 options that you have, and we are also going to share our experiences with vacationing and what we did. Now, when this episode airs, you're probably going to be planning your summer vacation because that's about when it's going to hit. We're going to talk about preparation, Ashley.
Preparing makes a world of difference. And if you've been on a health journey before, you know that there are some things that you prepare, your meals, or people like to do what they call protein prep, or they like to do, planned days off. Like there's always an element of planning.
Yeah.
And that makes sense, right? Because anytime you want to be successful, what do?
You make a plan. What do they say? Fail to plan to fail.
Right.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. I don't know who they is, but yes. Love them. God love them. So anytime we want to be successful, we've got to make a plan. So for me, I knew while on a weight loss journey that one of my biggest hangups was going on vacation. So it was always one of those things for me where I would, and I've talked about this a million times and I'll always bring it up because this is real life, right? And this resonates with everyone. So you're like, okay, we got this vacation coming up. We're going to Mexico. Your girl got to get into these dresses and these bikinis. Got to be looking right. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to work hard. We're not going to play no games. This is what we're doing, right? We are serious. Okay. We're serious. We're going to get this weight off. And there's a lot of deprivation that usually comes with that. And, back in the yo-yo days.
Quick little.
Well, you get on vacation and you're like, honey, we made it. It does not matter what we do here. Let's just live our life.
Throw it all out the window.
All out the window, plus
go mad. Yeah.
Even more.
Yeah.
So instead of just enjoying it, it was like, I haven't had X, Y, and Z in a 3-month period. I'm going to eat 10 of those. It's just like total binge almost, right?
Right.
In order to break that habit, I knew, okay, I've got to change my behavior. I've got to make a plan. I don't want to make a plan, but I got to make a plan. I got to make a plan because I want to be successful and I want to feel my best. And if you've done keto or you've started keto and you're starting to feel good after you get through that initial detox of carbs and sugar, you know what I'm talking about. You're starting to feel good. You're getting up early. You're starting to just really come into a new routine, right? So I knew, okay, I've got to make a plan and I've got to make sure it sticks and it works so that when I come home, I don't feel like I want to just say, screw it. And the rest of the summer is just going to be a free summer, which is what happened. And this is how I gained and lost the same 30 pounds and then gained an extra 10.
Yeah.
Yes. For years and years on end. And a lot of us have done this.
Yes.
So I knew this time, okay, I'm on a journey. I'm not just on a diet. Here I am. I've got to make different choices. Planning for vacation was one of the smartest things that I've ever done. And like Molly said, you've got choices.
Yeah, you have choices. You can stick with your keto.
You can stay strict.
That's
what you're doing.
Be the keto way, stay in ketosis, which feels amazing. So
yeah,
it's not a bad thought. You could just go low carb, or you could just throw it all out the window and just go back to your old way and just say free for all. But think about it before you make a decision. So let's talk about our own individual experiences with this, because I know you vacation a lot. What you just said about what you did before, same thing, girl. We would go on vacation and it was the automatic
free for all,
automatic M&Ms, cookies,
all
chips.
The treats. Girl, you hadn't had them in a while. You got to have it all. And then you
have it
want to grab a couple more.
And you play games and you eat and totally overindulge. Nothing like you really, like you said, more than what you even do at home.
Yeah.
But when I first started keto in 2019, it was March. I had a trip in May, which was a business trip where I was speaking, but we made it into a vacation for the family because I didn't want to travel by myself. So we just made it a week-long vacation.
Yeah.
Well, I had just started keto at the end of March and I was not about to stop because I felt so good. I'd already lost like
Yeah.
8 pounds. I was feeling fine. I was feeling really good. So I stayed keto. Now, again, I was brand new and I
Yeah.
didn't know about replacements. I didn't have the
The simpler
information.
times.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
really, it really was. It was a lot of I'll tell you what it was. It was a lot of what was it? You mixed unsweetened cocoa powder with some butter, and then you put peanut butter, and then you put in the fridge. Like that was my treat. Like that was my sweets.
Yeah, that was
every
dessert,
time.
right?
And it was simple. It was easy. It was keto,
Yeah.
right? It was very
That's like my
keto
strawberries
friendly.
and whipped cream.
Right.
And before I found Lily's, it was like unsweetened dark chocolate. Right.
Exactly. The
Very
same.
rustic. I
Very,
call
very,
it rustic,
right.
like a very
No
rustic,
replacement.
no replacements,
Mhm.
very low carb,
Right.
not all the fluff that we have now.
No, not all the fluff. Yeah, it's interesting too. When I look back on that, I felt really good. Like I
Yeah.
felt really good the entire
Mhm.
time. And I actually came home to a weight loss, not a gain,
That's
which
amazing.
had
Yeah.
never happened after a vacation, like
Yeah.
ever. So have
That's
you
amazing.
gone on a vacation where you were strict keto?
Yeah. So when I first, very much like you, so I've had several, and I had several different, experiences in that first year. But when I first started keto, I actually started in June and my mom was getting married in August.
Mhm.
And she had sent me a wedding dress. And I do have some pictures on my social media. It's that purple dress that I've shown several times. Well, I took progress pictures of that. The very first time I got it, it was actually too tight. She ordered me another size and I was determined. So in June 26th of 2019, I started keto that day. And it was like the same day that I received that dress. And I was
Wow.
really wanting to get into shape, not only for the wedding, but also just, I really needed to do something. And I've
You were at your
explained that
point.
before.
Yeah,
I
that
was
was
at
where
my
you
breaking
were. Yeah.
point. Yeah. So, June I start, August, I go visit my mom. I was already down 30 pounds
Oh my gosh. Isn't
and
that
it was her wedding. And I stayed keto at her wedding. I did
Oh,
drink wine, but she had cake and cookies and all of these things. I did not eat any of them.
isn't
I
that
was
something when you first start, you're so
it was the
determined
first time I had ever seen that type of weight loss and that type
Yeah.
of time frame, like so quickly. And I
and
was
felt that
feeling,
good.
I never felt that good.
Right,
And
right.
so I was like, I got down there and I was really stressed out. I'm not going to lie. In the very beginning, you don't know how solid this foundation that you're building because you're
Right.
building,
You're
it's
so
not already
used to
built
what
like
you've done
now.
before, like
Right. And I had
fell
a
off the wagon.
terrible,
Right.
exactly, a terrible relationship with food and with food choices and vacationing and like food reward. And I've talked about this a lot too. Rewarding myself with food, like vacation is a
Right.
reward to eat things even more so than I would eat at home and indulge. Right.
Yeah.
So I knew that I had such good momentum. I just wasn't going to risk it for the biscuit. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't
Literally.
going to do it. Literally. So I did stay keto the entire time I was there. And it really helped that my mom was keto. So
Oh,
that
yeah.
we were staying in the same home and she had lots of snacks. That's the first time I ever had electrolytes. So there were a lot
Oh,
of
the
firsts and a
memory.
lot of things. I know, memories. And then, it just kind of went from there. A couple months later, we went to a cabin and I cooked all the meals and that was not hard for me. So the first year I
Yeah.
was so laser focused that there was pretty much nothing that was going to grab me from my lifestyle because
Yeah.
that weight was coming off so fast. And I knew if I started making choices, I still wasn't healed. So it's very easy to go back to your old ways.
Yeah.
So, and
That's
just
true.
like you in the beginning, I didn't have all those replacements. So
Right.
vacation just meant you had to be very aware of the food that you were consuming,
Yeah.
make a plan for yourself. I was looking at menus ahead of time. I was creating, I was figuring out where I could get snacks or very basic snacks, right?
Yeah.
Meats, cheese, nuts,
Nuts. Yeah.
veggies, that and dips. That was it. We used to cook pepperonis in the microwave and use them as dips instead of chip
Yes,
replacements. There were no pita chips.
Right.
There was none of
Isn't that
that.
something how
So
creative we got back at the beginning?
we really did on making our snacks. And
Girl,
that's what my snacks were.
I made so many things in the beginning. I tried to make crackers. I tried to make
Me
bread because
too. Almond flour crackers,
yes, because
like
I
Cheez
did.
It style.
Did they not have the chompies and the pita? Did they not have it? Okay. Because I didn't, I knew about one of the breads. I can't remember, but I didn't
I
love it.
think
And
they might have had chompies, but it wasn't available. Nutrition was not even like a,
so that wasn't something. Yeah. Isn't that
no, years
something?
ago, you didn't
Interesting
really
to
have
think back
access
because
to
it
that.
wasn't that long ago, but I'm just thinking of all the things I tried to make. So many
Yeah.
things. So many things. Well, something you just said.
Fathead doughs and all of that. There were
Yes,
no
that's
pizza
right.
replacements. I mean,
I forgot
I
about that.
it was all trial and error. And even on vacation, I would be whipping up these little things that I could,
Yes,
snacks I could
same,
put
same.
together. And
I made a little
yeah,
dips.
yeah,
Yeah. I think we
yeah,
did have Quest. I did have some Quest chips because back
yeah,
then they
that's
had
been
the
around
Quest
for a
chips.
while.
They didn't taste like they do now. They redid
You're
them
right. They are
because they
different.
weren't good.
They weren't.
Did
They
not
were like
like them.
little pieces
Was
of
like,
cardboard,
I
no
was like,
flavor.
all those Instagram influencers are liars. They're just lying. These were not good.
They weren't that good.
But something I was going to say was when I vacationed that first time of just being keto 6, 8 weeks or whatever,
Yeah.
um, I didn't bring a scale. I didn't measure my food. I didn't do any of that kind of stuff
Yeah.
because I was on vacation and I was just sticking with no, I really pretty much didn't have any carbs. I mean, I had a little because peanut butter has a little, but I
Right.
just
Yeah.
had no
Just,
carbs. And it was so simple, you know.
yeah.
I made it as simple as possible and then
Yeah.
and didn't feel like I missed out on anything. And we did go out to eat too, like you said. And same thing. I looked at the menu. I was like, this is easy. Like you can find
Yeah.
so much at a restaurant that's keto friendly. So easy.
Exactly.
So
The
yeah.
only time that it gets hard is if you do go to somewhere that doesn't have a lot of like meat options, like that are like
Oh yeah. Like if you go
more
to sushi
plain.
or
Yeah, a sushi or Mexican is a harder one. Now there's
right.
things to do in
Yeah.
place of that, but it is hard back then, especially replacing chips and salsa. Before I ate Quest chips and things like that, I was ordering celery
Right. With the
at the table, and I would eat queso with the celery,
right,
and
right.
order wings as there's a lot of things that you can do. But looking at the menu is, part
A
of that
good thing to
planning so
do.
that
Yeah.
and also I tell people this too, is like, look at the menu so you can get excited about something you want to go eat.
Yeah.
Food is
Yeah.
still an experience. Just because you are changing how you're eating doesn't mean we stop enjoying our
Enjoying
food.
it. Right. Right.
Enjoying the food is part of the process.
Mhm.
And
And part of
I
keeping you
used to love
successful.
it keeps you motivated because
Yeah.
you're looking forward to things. So
Right.
when you're on vacation, it's really good to get that in your mind. Look at some of the menus, look at some of the
Yeah.
restaurants around you. You don't have to plan every single meal, but get an idea for, oh, this place is really known for their burgers. That sounds awesome. The night we want
Yeah.
to have that, that's where we should go.
Right.
That type
Right.
of thinking, that little bit of planning
Mhm.
is so great to keep you on track because you have something to look forward to, which keeps you motivated to do
Right.
what you want to do.
That's right. That's right.
If you want to stay on track.
Mhm.
So, and there there is no wrong answer.
No, no, no. Mm-mm.
You have to do
That's just one answer. One
that's
answer is
one
just
way.
stick with what you already doing. Stay the course of keto. Don't go off. Just go keto. Just be keto in a different environment, in a different place. You're going on vacation, just keep your same habits at home and do them on vacation. Easy does it, right? That's one.
And yes, and that's great for somebody who's newly starting. So,
Yeah, for newly starting
just
for
to kind of
sure.
show you how these work in my mind or how it's worked for me.
Yeah.
Newly starting, it's very hard to get off keto in the very beginning. So if you've got something coming up soon, I would, just my recommendation, think about, you know, staying the course while you're on vacation. It's going to
Yeah.
be easier to get home and just continue,
Yeah. It's true.
especially early on in the journey. It takes a lot more time to get in and out of ketosis,
Right. Right. You want to get fat
than it does.
adapted.
And
Yeah.
you want to get adapted so that if you make a choice later on, like we're going to talk about,
Mhm.
it's not a big deal,
It's not a big deal. And you go
like it
right
is in the
back.
beginning.
Right.
It's not as hard.
Right, right. Well, that same year in 2019, we went on another vacation later in the year. And to be honest with you, I don't remember what I did. I don't, I think at that point I had changed over to low carb instead of keto. And I actually didn't lose any more weight. I remember getting so frustrated that 2020 was when I was like, I'm doing keto. I'm going to do keto. Okay. No more of this other stuff. Keto is what I'm doing. And so I focused on it January and I stayed the course, the whole, all those months. Now I went in and out of ketosis. I was not
Yeah.
strict keto. I didn't stay, although I've discovered a lot of things about those replacements and I've talked about this already, but I got to talk about it again. I definitely knocked myself out of ketosis with too many replacements. Even if my net carbs are low, I'm still knocking myself out of ketosis with the replacements. Whereas I can have the same amount of carbs or even more if it's not replacements and I'm not knocking myself out of ketosis. So your body is going to respond differently, but
Yeah,
that's a
it
whole
breaks
nother
down
topic, right?
those processed foods because
Right.
that's
Because
what
it's
they
still
are
processed,
different.
right? Still
Because
processed.
even though it's a replacement and it's keto friendly,
Right.
it's still not a whole food. It is processed.
Right. It's still
So
processed.
something about the processing, the extra things that get added
May
in,
not. Yeah.
I just don't think, and I've seen this so many times where a lot of gurus and doctors and stuff say, you can't count all that fiber. You need to
It's
take
true.
about half of it
It's not
and
real
count it
fiber. You
towards.
know what I mean? It's not
Right.
like
It's a
natural
filler
fiber.
or
It's
right.
fillers and
So it's not like vegetables where it is,
totally fiber,
totally
totally
fiber
natural
and
fiber.
not counted. It does not even impact you at all.
You know what I've also heard, and I don't know if this is true. This is a rumor I've heard. I don't know if it's true. I'm just going to put that out there. But I have heard that a lot of these products that have so low net carbs, they have high total carbs and they're putting all these different fibers into it. It's not just like it's like 2 or 3 different fibers
Yeah.
they put in. And it's like, or sugar alcohols and more sugar alcohols.
Right. And
So they
so
can get
that's your
it
food is
keto
getting more and
friendly.
more processed. That's more things being added into the food.
Right. And that's
And
what we're trying to
so,
stay away
and
from,
that's
really.
what we want to limit if we can.
Right.
Those
Because that can
replacements,
stop you from
it can stall
losing the
you.
weight that you're trying to lose. It
And
really
there's
can stop
nothing,
you.
it can. And there's nothing wrong with a little, dirty keto or a little bit of replacement keto, especially if, your lifestyle prior was 3 times as bad as that, right? Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
fast food. So it depends where you are, but I definitely think as you continue on your journey and you wonder if there's changes that need to be made, getting away from some of those replacements can help you if you feel like you're not getting where you need to get, or if you're
Yeah.
not feeling the way you need to feel, or you feel like you're not staying in ketosis. Looking
Right.
at those products, it's such a help because they are processed and we just want to eliminate processed food as much as we can. We
Yeah.
want to use
Keto or
those
not,
things
right?
in this
Keto
situation,
friendly or not.
like
Right.
vacation,
Mm-hmm.
where
Yeah. Like
you
have it for a
are
special. Yeah.
exactly where you are, in a setting where everyone else is indulging.
Mm-hmm.
And this is your version of indulging, right?
Right. Right. As I think about it, 2020, no, 2019 and 2020, actually, it wasn't until 2021 that I really realized how much all those replacements were not actually helping me anymore. Like I kind of stayed the
Mm-hmm.
same and never checked. I even gained. Like it was
It's
just
almost like you
not working.
acclimate to it, in a
Yeah,
weird
because
way.
like
Yeah.
2020, girl, do you remember? I was all about the ice cream. I mean, I was like,
Oh, I
I'm gonna
know.
have ice cream every
I will
day,
never
and
give
nobody's
that
gonna
up, she
stop
said.
me. Do you remember?
We have it on a podcast somewhere. Yeah. Well, one thing I will never give up is my
It's the
unlimited
ice
ice
cream.
cream.
And guess what
And
I
I'm
gave
like,
up?
and you
Ice
and
cream.
I was like, I never pressed that. I was like, one day you might change your mind, but don't worry
She's
about it.
always right there. You are always right. You are.
I just have lived a similar, situation. Even though I started with strict keto, what I realize is that when you make changes and you start feeling good, your body also rewards you for those changes. So
Yeah.
you start feeling your best, you're also motivated to eat that way. Then all of a sudden you're craving eating that way. And it's kind of a
Right.
cycle.
And
So it's
you can
it's a little bit
evolve.
more than just
Mhm.
right. It's a little bit more than just like, I
Totally.
want to be strict keto. It's like, no, this fuels me. Like I like it.
Right.
It's different.
Right. I can't believe how, when I look back, I really did believe, and maybe it was true at the time, that all I could do was the replacements. Like I was like, I'm going to have the
And
replacements.
that's
That's
why
just
they're
how it's going to
there.
be. Right. So I was the queen of replacements in 2020. In 2021, I've changed that. And because my body was, and so that's what you have to do. You really have to pay attention to what your body's doing. And if your body is
Yeah.
not accepting these things and you're not
Or
reaching the
responding
goals
the
and
way
the
you
hope,
like.
right,
Yeah.
and you're not getting the success you were hoping for, change it up, change it up.
Yeah.
So we're hitting already on the second choice. So when you went on, your latest vacation, no, the one before.
Yep. We went
So
for out of town for my husband's birthday. And so in the year before, I was super strict. Like I didn't really take any replacement. I took a couple of things maybe that I found at that point
Yeah.
when we did this similar trip, not the one with my mom. There was no replacements there. There was no replacements really in the cabin.
Mhm.
But as the year went on, we did a couple other trips, and that's when the things started coming in. And then I found out about nutrition, and then I
Right.
started
And you'd
making
order it and
different
have it
choices.
delivered to your place.
Right. So this last year, the vacations that we went on, um, the year before, I even did my workouts like
Oh, I
over
remember.
like, I mean, I was doing more workouts on vacation than I was at home. And then I was also keeping my strict lifestyle. So just like you came home with no weight, you had, no weight gain, even a loss. Like that first vacation, I worked out for 9 days straight. Yeah, I think I did have a loss or
Yeah.
stayed exactly the same, like nothing. Um, and I did drink alcoholic beverages that were keto friendly and that kind of thing. So this last year, the vacations that we went on, I did it a little bit differently.
Mhm.
And I've talked about loosening some of the grips here and there that I have on my food because I really want to have a natural relationship that doesn't feel forced or
Yeah.
feel restricted too much. There are times for restriction and there are times for letting loose. But
Mhm.
I needed to learn how to balance that let loose instead of the binging or the over indulging.
Right.
So I decided that for me, an not off plan, but off plan, and just not like worrying about the replacements coming out of strict keto was going to look like replacements like
Right.
candies, like low carb bread that I don't eat hardly ever at home,
Right.
those kind of things. And I planned ahead of time. I ordered from Nutrition and I actually had it delivered
Yeah.
to the address because we were staying in a house. So I actually thought about this ahead of time, was like, look, what are the things that I'm going to eat? Like, what are the things my family's going to eat? What are some things that, and this is a big thing too, what's going to make it easier for me to
Yeah.
not worry about food,
Right.
to not put a lot of stress on trying to find something to eat, because a lot of times that's what actually messes us up
Mhm.
more than, the
Yeah.
food choices. It's not having enough choices or options. And
Right.
so we make a choice because we feel like we don't have another one.
Mhm.
And I ran into that when I left my low carb pure teas at home one time and I had to make a different choice. But by doing that order and having those things in the house, I felt just like everyone else. I felt like I was eating like everyone else.
Yeah.
I felt like I was having toast like everyone else. And I had pita chips and snacks. And even people were enjoying my food, which was really awesome. My family was
As
enjoying my
long as they
snacks
left
and
enough for
foods.
you. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. You can only have a little bit.
Don't take all of
Stop
it.
that. Stop that. Yeah. One
Yeah.
more. But yeah, so I made different choices and I said, you know what? Listen, I'm going to count my carbs, but loosely, and I'm only counting net, which I normally count total. I'm going to count net, and I didn't weigh or bring my scale. I'm
Mhm.
going to keep an eye on everything else and just loosely track, not put everything in my tracker, but keep account of just the carbs. And I never had a problem.
Right.
It was easy. And I felt like when they had ice cream, I had a little peanut butter cup or something that I could have and indulge in. And it was so incredibly easy to show up, have your stuff already delivered,
Yeah.
not even have to go to the store and find things, and just know that like your vacation can start. It just takes the stress away from having to plan.
And right. So you planned is what you did. You planned and you had it ready before, which is what we were talking about. Planning will help in your success. On our last vacation, like I didn't go on vacation in 2020. So we did have a staycation and I indulged in those mushrooms, those crunchy
Yeah, the crunchy
mushrooms.
ones. Yeah.
I had so many of those. Oh.
That's so
But
good.
yeah, but I'm not actual vacation. We went just recently and I already knew I wasn't going to go off the rails. I already knew it and I'll tell you why, because I don't feel good. So
Yes.
for me, going on vacation is a place that you want to feel good, you want to
Yes.
enjoy it. So I was not going to go off the rails, but I did have pizza with my family. The first night we got the Papa Murphy's pizza, and I used to get that all the time and eat like 2 or 3 of those 5 meat stuffed. Can you believe I would eat 2 or 3? Oh my gosh, they're so big. But I
That's so
had one
funny.
slice of that the first night because we got there late, and that's what we had, and that's what I ate. It's what I chose. I didn't worry about it. I didn't fight with myself about it. I said, I'm going to have pizza and I'm sure I'll feel fine tomorrow. And I did. I didn't overindulge on the pizza. I
Right.
didn't
It wasn't a
binge
whole
out on the.
day. It
Yeah,
was
my
one
mindset was
thing.
different. It wasn't,
Right.
oh, we're going on vacation. I'm going to eat everything. It was, oh, we're going on vacation. I'm going to continue my lifestyle as I do at home. But like Ashley said, loosen the reins. And
Yeah.
did I get knocked out of ketosis? Probably. But I still felt good. I still had a great time. And I still mostly stayed low carb the entire time because I feel better when I do that. And that, I think that's probably the best place you can get to. And I think that's when you're going to make the decision to
Yeah,
keep
you
a,
make different choices when you're in different places. And
yeah.
that's really what this is about, right? Is like evaluate you where you are right now. If you're just starting off,
Mhm.
Do you have enough consistency under your belt to walk into a vacation or a situation where you're going to be out of town? And are you going to be able to be low carb or go off and just get right back on? Because I can tell you in the beginning, absolutely not. If I would have done that, I
No.
would have just fallen off,
Yeah. And then you would have come
And
back from vacation and you would have gone right back to, oh, well, it would have been the
well, I
same
messed
old
that up.
diet.
So
Yeah. So
yeah.
really, I would really strongly, if you're keto, I think, or even just low carb, whichever, it's, I personally recommend that you remain in your normal day-to-day lifestyle, even on vacation, but not so grip tight. Because
Yeah.
if you
Modify.
do let it all go, it is very likely you're going to come back and have a hard time if you're an
Or
abstainer, especially.
right.
I've learned a
Or
lot about
so,
that.
if you do, choose the last option, which is you just have what we call food freedom and you just make the choices that
Yeah.
you want to make while you're on vacation. Um, some people that do well with moderating may not have an issue with that. And you're right.
Right.
Somebody
Just
like
moderating.
me
But
who's
how many
mostly in the
people?
right. And I'm an abstainer and I know a lot of people that are abstainers. And I know that come a few days of that, I would feel bad anyway, probably
Yeah,
just,
you would. Your
just
body
from
is, yeah.
the choices and your body just like, oh. And so for me, it's just not a choice I would make a day or a situation. So on the very last trip that we went on, we went to a restaurant and they didn't really have a lot of options. And I kind of knew that. And I could have done this and I could have done that. And I was like, that just doesn't sound good to me. And
Mhm.
so in the moment, I didn't pre plan this. In the moment, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to order the sandwich. I'm just going to order the sandwich. It's bread. It
What
is
did
what it
Ravi
is.
say?
Well, nobody was really surprised because I didn't make it a thing.
Oh,
I didn't
isn't
because
that
I
good?
am
That's
trying to
healthy.
be
That's healthy.
really cognizant about making the choice in the moment, not discussing it with everyone, not mulling over it, not looking at the menu like, oh God,
Right.
there's nothing for me to eat. Which I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there. This is part of growth. This is the part that we all want to get to and then continue on and continue to evolve, right? I
Yes.
wasn't like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to eat. I really don't want to eat that. Or there's nothing for me here. There was none of that. I just sat there and I thought, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want this. You know what? I'm going to get that because it sounds really good. So it came. I had intentions to just eat it the way it was. I got a side salad. I made some healthy choices there as well.
Mhm.
Balance, right? That's what we
Mhm.
seek. We don't want to just say, screw it all. I'm going to eat the sandwich and the
Yeah.
fries. I was like, which there's nothing wrong with that too. But that's not how I do this. And this is how I'm
Mhm.
transitioning to make the best choices that I can. Vacation, whatever, out of town, traveling, whatever. So I ordered the sandwich. It showed up and I was like, you know what? I don't need all that bread. Actually, I don't want it. I really wanted the stuff in the inside.
Oh, so you didn't eat the
So I
bread.
pulled everything off and just kind of halved one of the bread, put it on top and the bottom. So I had a way to hold it
Right.
and I ate it and it was fine. And that night I had a bite of potato and I did not feel guilt. I did not feel bad. So I
Good.
didn't have any
No
feelings of
regrets.
remorse because I wasn't
Yeah.
feeling good and I'd made those choices and I wasn't, in that cycle of like beating yourself like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. And like,
Yeah.
look now, look, you don't feel good because I made mostly keto choices, and then it ended up low carb, I was fine.
Right.
And that's okay. And
And that's
before
okay.
last year, I couldn't have done that without beating myself up.
Right. You've grown so much. But I think it's important to say, especially if you're newer, we have seen many people in our community who last year started eating all the things, right? A little bit here,
Yeah.
a little bit there, which turned into more, which turned into more. And then all of a sudden they're
Well,
up on
because
the
sugar is
scale.
so addictive and it doesn't take very
It
long of
does.
doing
Right.
that behavior. And then
Right.
next thing you know, you're right back under the grips.
Right. So yes, you could throw it all out the window and you could do whatever on vacation and whatever, right? It's vacation. But just always keep in mind, you might be, what do they call it? A slippery slope. Like you may not want to
Yeah.
do that. I don't know. It's just something
Depending
to
on where
really
you
think
are. Yeah.
about. It depends
Yeah.
on where you are. And it's something to really think about. I know I could, but I'm a moderator. And so it's easy for
You
me.
know, I think in a few more months, I probably could. There is one vacation that I will not keto, and we haven't gotten to do it yet. And I thought I was going to get tempted with this, but we
What?
go to Mexico every year as a family. The last year, we haven't been able to do it since the pandemic started. It just hasn't
Mhm.
been possible. We will be testing this theory because
So
I
you're
will.
going
I hope we go this year, but if we
in
do,
2022.
yes, if we
Isn't that crazy?
do, I
2022.
know it's weird. If we do, it's a vacation that I know it's just not going to be possible.
Right. You
All
told me
they
about the
eat is
restaurants over
carbs.
there. You've told
All they
me.
eat is carbs.
Yeah.
It's nothing but tortillas. And I mean, I could eat the insides, but who wants to eat the inside of a tortilla for 10 days straight?
Yeah,
You know,
that's not gonna,
just
yeah.
grilled meat.
It
But
is. I
yeah.
think it depends on where
So
you are in your journey. I think it depends
yeah,
on lots of things. And it
I
only
feel like
you
at
can
that
decide.
point,
Huh?
right. At that point, you just have to take it, journey by journey, step by step, vacation by vacation, start with trips out of town and see how you
Right.
do. And, it's not all or nothing. Nothing, about a lifestyle is all or nothing. It's
Right.
about
Right.
an evolution of the next choice and healing the relationship with food over time. It's not going
Mhm.
to happen. And it's not going to happen as soon as you lose your weight.
Right.
That's a misunderstanding as well. Like, oh, that person had success. They're healed. It
Well,
doesn't work
no.
like that.
Right. Right.
So it's so much more complicated than that. And it requires planning. It requires thoughtful conversation with yourself, internal reflection on
Yeah.
your choices and where you want to be. Is this align with how I want to feel, how I want to look,
Mhm.
and what I want to do in the future?
Yeah. As you've heard us talk about our experiences with vacations, as you see, or as you've heard, we have evolved over time. It has changed over time. We started one way, then came to another way, and then now we're where we are. So this is the way it is. You're going to evolve over time, and you're the one that's going to make the decision on what you're going to do and what's best for you. And then, you know what? A little trial and error. Maybe you go on
Yeah,
vacation and you do throw it out the window and you're like, I'm on vacation. I'm going to party it up. I'm going to live hard. I'm going to enjoy my best life. And then you're going to come back and be like, oh my gosh, I gained 10 pounds and I feel like crap. I'm not doing that again. And you know what? It's a learning experience, right? Live and learn. And
exactly.
that's okay.
Exactly. Live and
That's
learn.
okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's okay. I think the biggest thing here is like, don't get hung up in your choices too much. A lot of
Yeah.
times we put so much weight on
Yes.
this or that. And in the really long term,
Right.
those little blips in time mean
They
nothing.
don't matter.
It's
They
the
really
day
don't.
in and day out. It's the
Right.
daily
Consistency.
grind.
Right.
That is what is going to add up. And that's what matters. It's the daily choices you make. It's the small choices. It's not the big ones like the vacation. They don't
Right.
come up as nearly as often as the daily stuff. That's
Yeah.
where it matters. Is
That's a
that
good
where you're
point,
putting your
Ashley. That's
efforts?
so good. Yeah.
So you can afford to make different choices on vacation and play with it. See what makes you happy. See what fills you, makes you feel like you are, living your best life. Cause that's what it is about. That's what we're here to
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
right? Lose the
That's
weight,
it.
live our best life, be healthy, and
And enjoy
make
your
choices that support
vacay.
that and enjoy your
Right.
vacay.
Enjoy your vacay.
Yes. Get those margaritas, skinny margaritas going, get those seltzers popping, you know,
Yeah.
shots for everybody. Those are for you, Marlene.
Shot, shot, shot.
Shot. Yeah. So hopefully today you've learned at least something, or you can take what we've shared on our personal experiences and you can make a plan for yourself and you'll be more successful and be able to easily continue on your journey.
Because that's what we hope for you, for sure. And that's why we do this. So thank y'all so much for listening. We love y'all. We
We
appreciate
love
y'all.
you.
We're going to
Thank
see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. You can find and connect with us over on Instagram at More Than Just Keto. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss out on the fun. We'll see you next time.